They thought my daughter would quietly accept her place at the table. They thought she would smile, serve their food, and be grateful just to be invited. They were wrong. The humiliation started the moment we stepped into my sister Jenna's backyard. The smell of grilled meat filled the air, laughter floated around us, and children ran across the grass like everything was perfect. From a distance, it looked like a happy family gathering. Up close, it felt different. It felt like judgment. I saw the looks. The quick glances at my daughter's simple yellow sundress. The tight smiles that did not reach their eyes. Laura walked beside me, holding her small purse with both hands. She had saved for that dress by babysitting all summer. She loved it. She told me it made her feel confident. I leaned down slightly. "Just be yourself," I whispered. She nodded, but I could see the nervousness in her eyes. She already knew how these gatherings usually went. Jenna approached us with her polished smile and expensive white dress that probably cost more than my rent. She hugged me with one arm, barely touching me, then looked at Laura. "Well, look at you," she said, her voice sweet but sharp underneath. "You are growing up." Before Laura could respond, Jenna pressed a tray of drinks into her hands. "Be helpful, sweetheart. Pass these around." It was not a request. Laura froze for a second. Her eyes moved to mine, asking a silent question. Should I say something? Should I refuse? My heart pounded. I wanted to grab the tray and throw it back at Jenna. But I nodded. Not because it was right. But because I did not want to cause a scene. Not yet. Laura walked carefully through the yard, offering drinks to cousins who barely thanked her. I saw her shoulders tighten each time someone looked her up and down. Then Jenna laughed loudly from across the yard. "Did you make that dress yourself?" she called out. "It looks creative." A few people chuckled. The sound cut through me like glass. Laura kept her head down. She pretended not to hear. But I saw the way her fingers gripped the tray harder. I stood up, ready to step in, but my mother touched my arm. "She needs thicker skin," she muttered. "The world will not be gentle." I pulled my arm away. "Family should be," I said quietly. The afternoon dragged on. Laura continued serving, smiling politely, shrinking inch by inch. They treated her like background noise, like she existed to make them comfortable. And I let it happen. That guilt burned inside me. Then it happened. The deep sound of an engine rolled into the driveway. Conversation slowed. Heads turned. A sleek black SUV pulled up beside the house, shining under the sun like it did not belong in that small suburban street. The engine shut off. Silence spread across the yard. The driver's door opened. A tall woman stepped out, calm and confident, dressed in simple but elegant clothes. She scanned the yard once. Then her eyes locked onto Laura. Without hesitation, she walked straight toward my daughter. Jenna tried to intercept her. "Can I help you?" she asked with forced sweetness. The woman barely acknowledged her. She stepped around Jenna as if she were invisible. My heart started racing. I moved closer. The woman stopped in front of Laura, who was still holding the nearly empty tray. She knelt down. Looked her directly in the eyes. And smiled. "Princess," she said softly, "are you ready for your surprise?" The tray slipped from Lara's hands. A soda can rolled across the grass. Every fork stopped midair. Every whisper died. And in that single moment, the power in the yard shifted. Something was about to change. The silence felt heavy, like the air itself was waiting for an explanation. Lara looked completely confused. I think you have the wrong person," she said softly. The woman smiled again, calm and certain. "No, I do not. She stood up slowly and turned to me. Are you Callie Morgan? My throat felt dry. Yes. My name is Amelia Blackwell. The name did not mean anything to me at first. But the way she carried herself made everyone else uneasy. Even Jenna stopped pretending to smile. Amelia continued, her voice clear enough for everyone to hear. Your daughter submitted a fashion portfolio through her school counselor 3 months ago. It was entered into a statewide youth arts competition. Lara's eyes widened. She had almost forgotten about that. She had worked on those sketches late at night at our kitchen table, drawing dresses and designs while I paid bills beside her. We reviewed over 300 submissions, Amelia said. Hers was unforgettable. A quiet murmur spread across the yard. Jenna let out a short laugh. Wait, this is about drawings. She doodles all the time. They are not doodles, I said firmly. Amelia did not even look at Jenna. Lara has been selected for the Blackwell Rising Creators Program. It is a fully funded summer mentorship with some of the top fashion designers in the country. Travel, housing, training, everything is covered. The words hung in the air. Fully funded. Top designers. Selected. Lara stared at her like she was speaking another language. You mean? I get to go. If you accept, Amelia replied warmly. The welcome dinner is tonight. A fork dropped somewhere behind us. My mother finally stood from her chair. This seems sudden, she said carefully. Are you sure this is legitimate? Amelia reached into her leather folder and handed me a thick envelope. Inside was an official letter, printed on embossed paper, along with signatures and contact information. It looked serious. Real. Jenna stepped closer, her voice tight. This is ridiculous. She has never taken professional classes. How could she compete with real students? Amelia's expression cooled slightly. Talent does not always wait for permission. Sometimes it grows in quiet places. That sentence felt like a quiet slap across the yard. Lara looked down at her dress, the same one they had mocked just minutes ago. But I am not dressed for anything important, she whispered. Amelia smiled. You are dressed exactly like yourself. That is more than enough. For the first time that day, I saw something shift in my daughter's posture. Her shoulders straightened. Her chin lifted. Jenna crossed her arms. Showing up uninvited to a private family event is not exactly professional. I was informed she would be here, Amelia said calmly. And I prefer delivering good news in person. The spotlight had moved. And Jenna hated it. I turned to Lara. What do you want? She looked at me, fear and excitement mixing in her eyes. I want to go. There it was. Not hesitation. Not doubt. Desire. I nodded. Then you go. Jenna's face tightened. Oh, come on. She cannot just leave in the middle of the barbecue. I faced her fully. You made her serve drinks at her own family event. That was just helping. That was humiliation, I said quietly. The yard went silent again. Lara stepped closer to me. I could feel her shaking slightly, but it was not from embarrassment anymore. It was adrenaline. Hope. Amelia checked her watch. We should leave soon if we want to arrive on time. I looked around at the faces staring at us. Some surprised. Some jealous. Some suddenly pretending to be supportive. My mother folded her arms. You are overreacting. No, I replied calmly. I am finally reacting. Lara handed the empty tray to a nearby table without looking at anyone. And for the first time all afternoon, she was not the one serving. She was the one being chosen. And that difference was everything. Lara ran to the car to grab her backpack, her yellow dress moving in the warm afternoon breeze. No one offered to help her. No one said they were proud. They just watched. Jenna leaned closer to me, lowering her voice. "You are making this into drama. It was just a joke." I looked at her calmly. It stopped being a joke when my daughter stopped smiling. She rolled her eyes. "You have always been too sensitive. And you have always been too comfortable," I replied. For a second, she did not know what to say. My mother stepped in. Family should not walk away from family. I held her gaze. Family should not tear down their own children. The words felt heavy, but they were true. Lara returned, backpack over one shoulder. She stood beside me, quieter than usual, but there was something new in her eyes. Strength. Amelia walked ahead toward the black SUV. The driver stepped out and opened the back door. Before getting in, Lara turned and looked at the yard one last time. She did not cry. She did not wave. She simply looked. At the cousins who had laughed. At Jenna, who suddenly seemed smaller than before. At my mother, who refused to meet her eyes. Then Lara lifted her chin and stepped into the car. The door closed with a soft, final sound. The engine started. And just like that, she was gone. The SUV pulled away smoothly, leaving behind nothing but dust and silence. Jenna exhaled sharply. "Well. That was dramatic." I turned to her. "No. That was necessary." She scoffed. "You act like she won something life-changing." "She did," I said. "She won a chance." I walked to my own car without saying goodbye. For the first time in years, I did not feel guilty for leaving early. 20 minutes later, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Amelia. A photo. Lara stood in front of a grand hotel entrance, tall glass doors behind her. She was still wearing the same yellow dress. But now she looked different. Confident. Seen. Her smile was real. I stared at that picture longer than I expected. That dress they mocked. That same dress now looked powerful. My phone rang seconds later. "Mom?" Her voice sounded brighter. Stronger. "Are you okay?" I asked. "I am more than okay," she said softly. "There are other students here. From New York. From Chicago. They all love to draw. They gave us welcome kits with our names printed on them." Her name. Printed. Official. I swallowed the lump in my throat. "You deserve this." There was a small pause. "Mom, thank you for letting me go." The words hit deeper than anything else that day. "I should have protected you sooner," I whispered. "You did," she said. "Today you did." After we hung up, I sat in my quiet living room thinking about that backyard. About all the times I stayed silent to keep peace. About all the small insults I ignored. I had told myself I was being mature. But really, I was being afraid. That day changed something in me too. The next morning, Jenna posted photos from the barbecue online. A smiling caption about family support and celebrating young talent. She never mentioned the tray of drinks. She never mentioned the dress comment. She rewrote the story to make herself look kind. I did not comment. I did not argue. I did not need to. Because the truth was not on social media. The truth was in a hotel ballroom, where my daughter was meeting mentors who saw her talent without asking her to shrink first. And that was a victory no caption could steal. 6 weeks passed faster than I expected. Every evening, Lara called me from her hotel room, her voice filled with stories I had never heard before. Stories about fabrics, sketches, design challenges, and mentors who treated her like she belonged in the room. Not once did she mention feeling small. That alone was worth everything. She sent photos almost daily. Mood boards covered in color. Swatches pinned carefully to corkboards. Pages of designs signed with her name at the bottom, bold and confident. Her name looked different now. Stronger. Near the end of the program, there was a final showcase. Each student would present one original design in front of industry professionals and invited guests. I drove 3 hours to attend. My hands would not stop shaking on the steering wheel. When I entered the ballroom, I saw her across the room speaking with a group of adults. She stood tall. She was not hiding behind anyone. When she noticed me, her entire face lit up. "Mom," she whispered when she hugged me, "I am not scared anymore." The lights dimmed soon after. Music filled the room. Models began walking down the runway, each wearing a student's design. Then it was her turn. The dress that appeared was soft yellow, layered and elegant, inspired by the same sundress she wore at the barbecue. But this version was bold. Structured. Powerful. The crowd grew quiet. The model walked confidently. The fabric moved like sunlight. I felt tears building in my eyes. They tried to make her feel embarrassed about that color. Now it was shining under stage lights. When the applause started, it did not feel polite. It felt real. After the show, a judge approached her and shook her hand. I heard him say, "You have vision. Do not let anyone dim that." Later, in the car on the way home, Lara looked out the window at the passing city lights. "Do you think they understand now?" she asked softly. She did not say their names. She did not have to. I thought for a moment. "Maybe," I answered. "But it does not matter anymore." She nodded slowly. "I do not need them to understand." 3 months have passed since that barbecue. We do not attend family gatherings anymore. Jenna never apologized. My mother sent one short message saying we should move on, but she never acknowledged what happened. For the first time, I did not try to fix it. Lara's room is now covered in sketches and fabric samples. She applied for an advanced arts program at school and was accepted immediately. Her teachers say she speaks up in class now. She volunteers. She leads projects. She does not shrink anymore. Last week, we sat on her bedroom floor flipping through a scrapbook from the summer program. Tucked inside was a handwritten note from Amelia. "Stay bold. Stay kind. Never wait for permission to shine." Lara read it twice. "I used to think I did not belong anywhere," she said quietly. "Maybe I was just in the wrong rooms." That sentence stayed with me. Because sometimes revenge is not loud. Sometimes it is not about shouting or proving someone wrong. Sometimes it is about rising so high that the people who underestimated you have no choice but to watch. That day in the backyard, they tried to remind my daughter of her place. Instead, they witnessed her leaving it behind. She did not argue. She did not beg. She simply walked away. And that was the moment everything changed. If this story moved you, take a moment to like this video. Share it with someone who needs to remember their worth. And tell me in the comments, have you ever had to walk away from people who refuse to see your value? Subscribe for more real stories about strength, justice, and quiet victories. Because sometimes the most powerful revenge is success.